Hey, good morning, people, or whatever time y'all might be watching this. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. uh, Today, or before we get started, if I sound sleepy, that's because I am. I'm tired as F. I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and for whatever reason, haven't went back to sleep yet. So, my fault if I sound a little tired, but I got y'all covered with this video. So, today we're gonna talk about the homie Rashid's neutral, and we're gonna start out with the normals. And everything that I'm gonna talk about in this video is basically what I feel is useful for Rashid. I'm not gonna go over every single normal and all that. I just gonna go over what I feel is useful, and hope it helps. Some might be useful to you, might not be that useful to you, but this is what I feel is solid. Amen. All right. So first off, we're gonna go with standing medium kick. I think this is a pretty good button. It's solid, nothing crazy, but it's a solid button. It moves Rashid forward, so that helps too in a way. And depending on how close you are, like if you like right here maybe, and you get a punish counter, you can actually, let me see, like right here, you can go into sweep if you get a punish counter. So you can, and it will be times you'll clip somebody with a standing medium kick. So you can also just go into itself, which is 2 hits. But I think having going into sweep is nice because obviously it's a hard knockdown. I messed that up, but hard knockdown, and now you go into a setup and all that stuff. And then of course, if you get the standing medium kick, you can go into super as I drop it. So that's how it's supposed to look basically if you get the standing medium kick to connect. And then on regular counter hit, you don't get the sweep. It don't connect. You basically just get 2 standing medium kicks into each other. Outside of combos, this would be where you normally use the standing medium kick. So, like obviously you can get it in combos like that, but you'll basically be using it from like this distance almost, so you won't really be getting those kind of confirms. So, let me see, can you get this one? No. Thought you would be close enough. Oh, maybe that works. Like if you like right here and you use it, you get the punish counter. Alright, now I'm just experimenting. But y'all see, that do work though. So, that's something you can, keep in mind of. Nice damage too. So, you also are, what's this? -3, but like I say, at the ranges you'll be using it, you can actually use this as a spacing trap too. Rashid actually has a lot of these kind of whiff traps. So like right here, see, you can do this. Now go into that, and it's really useful like if you in the corner and you kind of gonna be at this range when people in the corner with Rashid. So you do something like that, and then bam, they press the button. You can go into that, or even if they were to go into, I just do loop crouch and medium kick. See, it's still the range you'll use it at. They can still get sniped. So that's pretty neat. And the next thing is crouch and medium kick. So crouch and medium kick is basically it's not the Kens and the Juries, but it's nice to have a crouch and medium kick that you can just go into drive rush if need be. Especially with the whole new drive rush map button, where you can just press what's this, medium kick and medium punch together, and you get the the confirm into drive rush. It makes it much easier to kind of fish for it, and then you see the hit, and then you go into whatever. Now, if it's ever a time where you like say for instance, you probably like on a bar. You don't really want to spin the drive rush. You can, and you need to go into super or something like that. You can go into this, to that, to super, or you can go into, which I feel is much easier to do it from this, the light Cyclone. So, like even at this distance, like it'll work. Like you can cancel into it like that, but I feel like this is just much easier. Much easier on the fingers, I should say. And it does more damage if I'm not mistaken. Let me see how much this does. So that's 3540. Even the starter, that was 740 just leading into that before the whole super finish. Yeah, see, that's less damage. Doing it into this is more damage. So that's not bad, even when you just kind of in neutral and you can always just kind of do that to get a quick little damage, or you can always go into this if you want, because you get the strike throw and all that good stuff. So, and like I say, you can always go into whatever from there. So that's good to have a cancelable crouching medium kick. And the next thing is forward medium punch. So forward medium punch, I feel is actually pretty nice. So the only downside, so a good thing about it is it moves them forward, but it's also a downside that it moves them forward because depending on the character, I should say. Like in general, you don't want to put yourself this close and be -3 because now you're putting yourself kind of in your own strike throw. Because sometimes you'll have people that, let me pick Rashid so I can show you. I'm glad this game loads up fast, so it's easy to show you. So say for instance, you do this. Now you press throw because you feel the opponent gonna press throw since you negative, right? And then that happens. That actually happens to me more often than you think. And probably other Rashid players, because you're putting yourself in that situation that close and you negative. So that's the automatic defensive reaction when you -3 is to grab because you think the opponent gonna grab. So when you got a grappler, that makes it more scary when you do that in front of like Zangief or Manning, because they'll just command grab and then you trying to throw, thinking they might throw, then you get scooped and you lose like 1,000,000%. So definitely be careful when you're using this move, because it definitely can put you like right in their face. And the first hit is cancelable. So you can always kind of just do this, like into light Cyclone. Now, even though it's -6, it does kind of put you, let me see, is this, oh, you can still get punished. Oh, see, look, I found the good spot, about right here. See, the average person to crouch and medium punch right there. Yeah, see, so you can do that if you wanted to. You know, rather than always just going in a fireball, you can always just kind of that into EX. So standing medium punch is pretty good, basically. And the parry drive rush version of this is really good too, because it puts you +1 and you right in their face. Now the thing is, you can always, you can't, oops. Yeah, see, so you can grab them. And of course you plus, so that means you can jab after. And you get a nice confirm if you were to actually hit them. And since it's 2 hits and it moves Rashid forward, you can end up maybe hitting the second hit of forward medium punch. So parry, drive rush, forward medium punch is actually pretty good. Now, another thing to keep in mind of, if somebody were to randomly do drive impact, you can cancel the first hit. But if you mid animation, you out of there, you getting smoked. So that's the thing also with Rashid normal, some of them, like this, you know, it's not cancelable, so you gotta be careful with it. Some of his normals like this one, and I guess that we can use that to kind of segue into what's it? Crouching heavy punch. Crouching heavy punch is pretty good. It's not the Street Fighter 5 crouching heavy punch, but it's still decent, and it moves Rashid. It don't move Rashid forward like standing medium kick, but the literal animation, Rashid's kind of lunge forward a little bit, if that makes sense. So it's not cancelable, so it is susceptible to drive impact. You can cancel it though. So like if you see you get a hit confirm, you can go into level 1, or you know, level 3 of course, level 2, which you do get a lot of damage for as I drop it. So imagine you get the hit. And look, that's just 3730 just off, you know, fishing for the crouching heavy punch and, you know, going into level 2. So, crouching heavy punch is pretty good. Standing heavy punch. Oh, you know what? Let's rewind again. And this is another thing, as I was saying earlier, with Rashid kind of got normals that push him back. You see, even if I did it like right here, right here, you know, the forward medium punch can be used to whiff punish somebody pressing the button, depending on like where you do it at, or if you're close enough, you know, standing heavy punch. But I think the safe route would be doing forward medium punch, because that way you got enough time to register like, okay, I got the hit confirmed, so I can go into whatever. Because a lot of times you might, you know, for whatever reason, somebody might randomly jump, and now you just did that, you know, or you can do that to at least kind of reset the situation. Because you do this, then somebody jump in on you, even though it say you +7, but you know, you might not be like looking for somebody to jump right there, because there are maniacs in this game that'll just do random stuff in a spot where you don't expect them to. So just be mindful of that a little bit, because sometimes you might play people that instantly do this, and that's what I call wish confirming. You just instantly doing it on autopilot rather than seeing yourself get the hit. And that's why I say using standing medium punch is better, because that way, since it's 2 hits, you got enough time to register in your mind like, oh, okay, I got the hit, I got the punish counter, bam, let me go into a combo. So next thing is standing heavy punch. So standing heavy punch is basically just like Street Fighter 5 version. Is used to, you know, clip people. You can clip people like from afar when they're doing this, and you know, go into whatever. And you can always drive rush, so it's cancelable. And as you can see, do good damage. You know, not bad. So, and that's really it for standing heavy punch. It ain't nothing, you know, crazy outlandish about it. Solid. Now the next thing is standing heavy kick. So standing heavy kick is actually pretty good, because it's another move that puts Rashid is negative. You see, I get punished. Rashid is actually -5. So most of the time you're using this, it's gonna be right here. So nobody is gonna punish you basically. So this is a really good button, I feel, when you like zoning and people trying to like itch forward against you. That's kind of like your stop sign button. This right here. And as you can see, push you at a good distance. Somebody press a button, and bam, now you're doing forward medium punch to get the punish counter. So the good thing about this too is it's random times somebody might jump. As I was saying earlier, you know, you might play somebody that jump randomly. Let me see if I can get it right. Or maybe it's when they jump late. Let me see. Because there's times I do this and I might jump. Dang, I don't think I can set it up. But don't worry, that's take too long for the video. It ain't nothing crazy important, but just was a little FYI, so don't worry about it. But the punish counter, if you get this as a punish counter, then you can do heavy mixture, EX, medium, you know, you get Oki after. You can always go into level 2 as well. Let me see. And I dropped it, but you see that was 3560 before I even got to the second part. So this is a good button. You can't really get too much from it, like outside of level 2. Now you might can get this depending on how high they in the air when you do this. Now this looks like it can be a good anti-air button, but it's really not. Now against Cammy, when Cammy players be, you know what, let me go to Cammy real quick. Thank God this loading is so fast that I can just instantly do this. It don't take up too much time. So you know Cammy players sometimes randomly be doing dive kick and you like over here. So you can try to use dive, his standing heavy kick to punish Cammy, or when they do the hooligan, you can kind of, like if you right here and they do hooligan, and let me see how they do that hooligan. Yeah, so if they, you know, you see them doing this, you can always just kind of fish for standing heavy kick and just punish them. And see, that wasn't punish counter, but they high enough in the air that you can punish them. And then you go on to level 2, party starter. So the standing heavy kick, I feel like it's definitely useful, more useful in a Cammy matchup than any other matchup, because that match is so inconsistent in terms of anti-airs for Rashid as is. So definitely utilize standing heavy kick. It's a real good button. And next thing is forward heavy kick. So forward heavy kick, it does not go far, but it's useful for lows. It goes over lows. So a lot of people that use crouching medium kick a lot, you get the punish counter, you just go in the standing medium punch. And then, you know, of course, you can extend it however you want. And on block, this is -3. And this circles back around to what I was saying earlier about putting yourself kind of close in front of certain characters. So I wouldn't recommend just throwing it out. It moves Rashid forward, but as you can see, the range is not there. You gotta like be right here to get it to work. Now the drive rush version of it, not that bad, because as you can see, it moves them forward pretty nicely and leaves them +1 in throw range. So if you kind of throwing fireballs and setting up, you know, whatever, you can always kind of sneak that in. So that's pretty nice. And the next thing is, let me look at my notes, or the last thing for his normals is crouching light kick. So the good old crouching light kick, it's not the same light kick as StreetFighter 5 crouching light kick, You got to be like real close to really get it. So the crouching light kick itself is nothing too crazy, at least in my opinion. But the upside to it is the drive rush version of it, which I learned from a K7 video. So shout out to you, K7, because this is nice. So the crouching light kick drive rush, you see it actually goes pretty far, and you get a quick crouching medium kick confirmed too. So, and you know, a lot of times people walking back playing neutral, you can kind of, you see it's a 5 frame, so it's pretty quick. 4 frame the fastest, but 5 frames is still good. So you do this, and now you confirm in the light eagle kick, and now you win. And of course, as I was talking about earlier, you can connect into that. And depending on like how much meter you got and the health they at, you know, you can go into whatever from there. So crouching light kick is pretty good. And of course, even right here, you +3, but the distance you will be at when you're using this crouching light kick, oh look, I'm +4 now. +5, oh my goodness. But you see the distance you at, you pretty far, but you can still kind of do stuff since you +5. I guess depending on like the distance you do this at. But you know, it's something to keep in mind. And I think that's actually pretty good that Rashid has something like that to easily just confirm into crouching medium kick after that. So yeah, I think that's it for the normals. And now we're gonna move on to his special attacks. Okay, so Rashid's special attacks, he actually has a lot of useful stuff that he can use in neutral in terms of special. So the first thing could be his light mixture. So originally, well not originally, but like just stand alone, it don't look too crazy. It moves him forward just like some of his normals do. It's let me see what's it on block. -3. So again, the same thing. It puts you close. So you got to be careful how you use it. Now, depending on where you at, you can try to. It does put you kind of far back. See, I'm -2, and I'm not in throw range. So, like, depending on where you at, you can try to space it out. So the neat thing about this is on counter hit. So if you hit this on counter hit, you do get a standing light punch confirmed. So most of the time, I think it's most useful in the corner when people kind of like desperate. And see, that's, you know, 12, 20, none crazy, or you can go into light kick. Let me see, can you do light kick? Yeah, so you can go on a light kick and then 17-10. That does more damage for people that don't know if you do light kick into the eagle kick. Just a FYI, so like you can go into this and then bam. It's 1350 because I did it further away, so not all of his connected. But when you get this on punish counter, you get a full-blown standing medium punch confirmed. So you get this standing medium punch, you know, now 1830. Now if you get all the hits like that, then that's 2040. So this will most be useful, like, for example, somebody try to sweep and you're probably not at a range where you can punish. So let me see. So this is where mixture come in handy too. So that can work, and also you can use mixture. So for example, a good example would be like Jamie players. Jamie players just throw out that sweep to the drink, so that moves them forward. So that can help too. So light mixture is pretty good, and you get enough time to register that you got the hit confirm because of that punish counter sound, and you can just kind of see the difference. Excuse me, that little spark behind Rashid look like. Because if you notice the difference with that and regular counter hit, it don't pop up like that. But punish counter, it pops up. But I pay more attention to the sound and looking on the side. So that's kind of a way I decipher between the two. So yeah, light mixture is pretty good. And next thing is his tornadoes, so or the whirlwinds. So each is tornadoes. They all got the same speed. EX, same thing. As you notice, EX goes full screen instead. Fully charged, 53. All of them the same. And lead at wind current, which gives him access to his enhanced stuff, which we'll get into in a second. And so you can release it early too. As you can see, I just held it a little. It got various, timings depending on when you release it, which will kind of throw people off. Because what Rashid, and like I said, once I get into the Cyclone stuff, you will see this will kind of get you smoked a lot of times. It definitely get me smoked a lot of times because the power behind that wind current is too good. So you can fake people out by trying to just do it, wind up a little. Like Kimberly players. Kimberly players are a good example of this. I ain't gonna switch to it, but like she can teleport through this and punish. So you can like just twirl a little, bait them, and then air grab, or into heavy mixture. But now, the neat thing about his tornadoes. His heavy goes closest to him. The light one is the one you're going to use mainly because that goes almost full screen. Medium kind of angles a little differently. So a rule of thumb when you're using the light tornado, you do the heavy version after. And it's a perfect spacing trap to do heavy tornado after. So this would be you would basically be using light tornado like right here. So you do heavy and then you get a full confirm just like that. And you basically so imagine you setting up shop like this, you zoning, and then after a while somebody get tired and then they jump. You clip them just like that. Same thing for in the corner. I'm gonna show a clip at the end of this video. As long as the video not too long, I'm gonna show a clip at the end of this video showing the combos he can get from this. So I don't want to have to set it all up and whatnot for the sake of the video. So I just show the clips at the end. But Rashid gets some nice stuff with spacing out his tornado like this. So the next thing is, you know what? Before we even get to that, so his EX tornado, let me see. We're gonna go to DJ, he'll be a good example. So Rashid's, his heavy tornado is 3 hits, but it has that same effect where it can still lose out against projectiles if it's not regular version. So it'll lose the EXs. So that's when regular, non-fully charged EX comes in handy. So EX also, it goes full screen. You can fully charge it. Now the neat thing about this is So check this out. I'm gonna have DJ mash and crouch and light. You can do this and it automatically jails into that true block string. And depending on where you do it at, like if you do it in the corner, it's a free drive rush to overhead. Free drive rush to overhead. And now with the new crouch and light kick thing, you can easily kind of register which one, hit first. And now it's a mix-up basically. So I think that's pretty neat. To get a full-blown, like, just drive rush forward like that. Pretty nice. Now, his EX as well, when it hits, it knocks down. So if it ever knocked down, you can set up, your tornado stuff. And depending on how close you are, you can get a confirmed alpha. And of course, I'm dropping it. Something like that, if you close enough. But most of the time, you'll be using it like right here. And this does cancel into, level 2. So I'll go more into that when I do my block string guide, which I'll keep a lookout for. But it's pretty neat to be able to cancel into level 2 like that. So the next thing is his wind current. So his wind currents basically allows him to go full screen like that. So this comes with great power and great responsibility. So a lot of times you're gonna see Rashid players do this, but it's a counter for that. You gotta be careful because it's not invincible or nothing like that. You can easily jump and punish. That's what people do. So what I like to do is I do this and then dash. So as you can see, I jump and I'm pushing myself back to the corner. So that's what I do against people when they starting to look for Rashid to jump forward. And this also is good for baiting people in the super, as I do that. That was CPU was still mashing, but I baited a guy doing that because he thought I was gonna do the Cyclone full screen, and he got punished for it because if you notice, that looks somewhat the same as dashing. It's too quick to tell between the two. It's like quick reaction. You got to try to figure out which one. Now his eagle kick is actually pretty nice because the enhanced eagle kick, I should say, pushes him back full screen. Now normally you do eagle kick, you right here, you can get punished. But with the enhanced version, it pushes you back basically full screen. You see I'm negative 15, but I can't get punished from right here. And what I like to do is if I do this and it pushes me back full screen, then I just go into level 2. It pushes me all the way back, basically neutral reset, and then it's a free level 2. Unless you fighting JP, you can't do that against him. Because he can punish level 3 when you doing level 2 just like that. So the other thing that's nice about his eagle kicks is his EX version. So EX version goes through projectiles. Regular version does not. See, I get hit. But if I got the wind current up, you can go through. And even if you mistime it, have no fear. If you mistime it, push you back full screen anyway. So you fine. And you get some nice drive gauge too. As you can see, that was a whole bar I just took off. So, not a whole lot is lost. You took a drive gauge bar, so you know that's nice. And the same thing with the eagle kicks. A lot of times you can just jump. You just back jump. So trying to like push them to the corner and just keep faking them out like that. And a thing to keep note of when it comes to the wind currents is the light, like the regular versions of the wind current goes away after like a second. So you see it's already gone. It goes away pretty quick. So, oh, and the thing too I forgot to mention, you +2 on the enhanced light mixture. So you leave yourself in a strike throw situation, you plus, builds up good drive meter, or takes away drive meter, and you +2. But back to the wind current stuff. So the EX, it stays a little longer, probably like maybe an extra second, if that. And then the EX Cyclone stays a little bit longer as well. And obviously the level 2 version stays way longer, or the level 2 super stays way longer. But regular versions, you gotta basically act right away. So that's something to keep note of when you fighting Rashid and when you playing as Rashid. Is, you know, because sometimes this might happen. You see the wind current, and then you just do eagle kick, and it's not the enhanced version, and now you about to get smoked. And also the opponent might get mixed because they see the wind current at the last second. Let me see. See, now I'm getting it all perfectly and stuff. See, right there, as the wind current going away, I do dive kick, and it's the regular one. Well, not dive kick, but eagle kick, and it's the regular one. So that'll kind of throw you and the opponent for a loop. So just be careful. Now the next thing is Rashid's enhanced eagle kick. Well, not eagle kick, but enhanced EX mixture. So as you can see, it takes you full screen. And remember I was saying, when they see this out, they automatically assume you about to do this. So let me see, can I set it up? Alright, there we go. So for demonstration purposes, just imagine I'm trying to jump back because I assume this coming. So you see that? You can basically catch people jumping back depending on how close you are, because they scared of the enhanced move. And you get a lot of damage for a raw eagle kick, or I keep saying raw eagle kick. Raw EX mixture. So let me see. I dropped it, but you get a lot of damage basically for sniping people out the air with the EX. And another thing, if you know, I could just use Rashid. So this takes you pretty far. Let me see. Since this is obviously a DP, and then of course I'm getting hit. Maybe it don't. Well, you know what? It works better when level 2 is out. I'll show that later. But it's something nice with that. Y'all gonna see. So yeah, with the mixture stuff, is same thing goes for if they jump in. You can use the medium version because the enhanced moves take medium version pretty far as well. But as you can see, if you whiff, you out of there. They got all the time in the world to confirm, because you just in the air. You just in the air going on about your lonesome. So yeah, I think that's it for his special attacks. His special attacks, as you can see, got a lot of utility to them, and you definitely gotta be mindful how you use them. You got a lot of tools, so you gotta learn what put these things at. But let's continue on. We finna head over to the anti-airs. Hey, y'all, before we get to the anti-airs, I forgot to mention this. So Rashid's Cyclones, like the actual move itself, it's not nothing that you would really use in neutral. Like you can like verse Cammy, for example. Obviously, she can go through your projectiles. So you can use the Cyclone to kind of fake it out, because the Cyclone is a physical hit. So you can kind of like mix in between doing this and then do this at times. And this, in a way, will bait people to jump. This will bait people to jump, and then you can anti-air. So say for instance you zoning like this, you can throw this in and kind of anticipate a jump and then anti-air, because people will just see the tornado and instantly be ready to jump. So I feel like the Cyclone is more useful in a Cammy match, because it got that weird effect when you do the heavy version that, as you can see, it'll knock you away. You get a knockdown, so on a punish counter. But since it's a physical hit, that will stop Cammy. And this is also useful for like Chun-Li when they try to do that overhead move, Hazanchu, I think. And you can use that to stop them. So the good old V-skill kick, the reason I definitely mention that part, because it's not all that. You won't be using that move like that, besides in combos. But yeah, just wanted to mention that for the Cyclone stuff. Now, let's get to the anti-airs. So Rashid's anti-airs are it's kind of suspect. I don't really like it. It's kind of suspect, but it does work and it doesn't work. That's the best way to describe him. So, excuse me, his go-to anti-airs would be heavy mixture, EX, air throw, and if you're really nice with it, you get the read on them. You can go into the EX, what's that called? Standing medium punch to the dive kick thing, whatever that move called. His level 2 is also a good anti-air. Now the thing with his level 2, depending on how low he do it, so like if he do it low enough, he actually gets the animation. Now I don't know if somebody will really ever get the animation, but I just figured it was worth noting. Depending on how late you do it to the ground, as they come in with a normal, you get the animation. Level 3, of course, is a good anti-air. Now, as you can see, level 2 is not that good, but if you were to get a call out, you know, you can try to sneak it in and, you know, get a nice combo from it. You get the wind current behind you. Then I dropped it, but you get the wind current, EX mixture, do a lot of damage, and they explode for it. So what I don't like about his mixtures, which I want you all to be aware of, is if you do it too soon, it's almost like if you do the EX too perfectly, then you'll end up losing out. So a normal, that's a good way to explain this, is, where is Ken at? Ken's heavy punch. So if Ken jump in and you see like how Ken's heavy punch is pretty high up. Let me see if I can get it right. I think I got it. So that happens with the heavy version. If you wait too late, then that happens. I'm trying to get the mixture part. So So that happens. So it's weird. You see how I see him jump and then I hurry up and do it. It's very inconsistent. It's almost like you gotta wait for them to come down a little and then do it. But that's the part I was saying when they doing that, because if you wait, oh, see, now I'm getting it. It's a video. I'm gonna show it. I gotta find it where they show the inconsistencies with his anti-airs, because I'm not. It's gonna take too long for a video's sake. But his anti-airs are very inconsistent, which is what makes it hard in the Cammy matchup, because her dive kicks so fast, and you gotta try to hurry up and do EX mixture. So the anti-airs, like I said, they work and they don't work, and that's when you gotta start using the air grab. So he can do back air grab. I don't know if every character can do that. I never played a character with an air grab, so. And the good thing about this, he puts you at the perfect distance where he basically can set up level 2 right after that. So his air grab is really good. Now you might be wondering about his crouching medium punch. You know, it used to be really good in Street Fighter 5, but it's not the same as before. Like, it can still work, but it's also an inconsistent anti-air too. You see, because of the trade, but you can't get it to work. It's cancelable. So I think if you just play around it, maybe you can get it to work. But crouching medium punch basically just like it's just like his other ones. I'm trying to get it. I think right there. So like that, depending on like Ken, for example, his heavy punch is coming straight down and you doing it early, that happens. You lose out because you're trying to wait for them to jump in a little later, but since his punch is coming straight down sooner than Ken is, then of course you'll get sniped. So just wanted to put that out there. As you can see, he has air options, but they all kind of inconsistent. And like I said earlier, heavy kick looks like it should work, but it don't. So yeah, that's his anti-airs. Now we are going to move on to his level 2, and then I think that'll be it. Alright, so Rashid's level 2. We show this for demonstration purposes. So Rashid's level 2, I won't go into full detail about like how to use it and, you know, like what knockdowns until I get to the Rashid, to the level 2 guide, which again, look out for. But I just want to talk about when it's actually out. So when it's actually out, for those that don't know, you can kick it to the opponent. So like, for example, you know, the CPU just still walking back like that. You can eventually just kind of kick it, you know, use the Cyclone to move the projectile to them, which is nice because they obviously can't jump over it. But the thing that's nice about it is, let me pick Ryu to do this. Well, you know what? Let me be Ryu and then set up Rashid to do it. So unlike in Street Fighter 5, you was able to in Street Fighter 5 you was able to do EXs to just negate the tornado, to just eliminate it completely, but you can't do that in this game. You basically gotta just respect it. Now you can do super and it'll eliminate it, like if you got enough hits for it, but obviously ain't nobody finna just let you sit here and do super and blow up the tornado like that. So what happens is, and this is circle back around to DJ, because I feel like he is a good example to use for this. When you got the tornado out, you want to use the, as I was talking about earlier with the wind currents. Come on, DJ. Alright, there we go. So people like to use projectiles to stop you from using your specials. So obviously you will get hit out of it if you try to do, you know, you can't do your mixture, you can't do your eagle kick. So this is where it comes in handy to use your EX mixture. That's what I was talking about earlier. So basically, since it's a DP and you kind of gonna be walking like this behind it, so you can get a punish like that, which is pretty nice because the EX take you so far. I think you can get more from that. And see, now I was too far to do it, but, and then of course the main thing, the EX eagle kick, you can just do that. So once people start trying to stop you from doing that, that's when you're able to use the enhanced eagle kick projectile invisibility to go through the projectiles. So that's what people would do to try to stop you from like just autopiloting and doing that. Because basically this is how it looks when you got eagle kick or when you got tornado out and people just straight up respecting. You just chipping away at their drive gauge. And then eventually you doing that to get in. Now they just lost all that. And you might say to yourself, somebody not gonna sit there that long to let you do that. I have played people that let me sit there and do that. Not as many times, but they blocked it maybe like 1 or 2 times. Then it was like, all right, I need to do something. And then that's when, you know, this is how a regular scenario will look. And now you doing this. Now they getting tired of getting hit. Now you sneak in the EX. So that's a way to kind of keep them in check. And the tornado itself lasts long enough that you can just kind of just keep walking behind it. And then, you know, go into that. So now another thing is with the wind currents in general, which I should have mentioned earlier, you can always just jump over. So the wind currents, you can always just jump over. So if somebody kind of, you know, zoning, for example, oh, the wind current went away. You know, you can punish them like that. So that's actually pretty neat. And the Cyclone itself, it's only 1 hit, but it does negate a projectile, even though it's kind of slow. Look, I'm getting clip bad. There we go. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to mention for his level 2. And then another thing is, it's not no way to show it, but Rashid can do the Cyclone. Well, maybe I can show it. Let me see. Maybe I can show it. Rashid can kick the tornado in the opposite direction. Like, see? He can kick it in the opposite direction. So you might have a time where, depending on like if a character got a wall jump, they might jump over you while the tornado is out, like this. And then you over here, and you can do the Cyclone to basically kick it back to him on the other side of the screen. So that's actually pretty neat that Rashid can do that. And this is a quick FYI, because I didn't mention it earlier. I'm getting so tired of forgetting stuff. I'm getting old. So let me set the computer to do this. So remember I mentioned earlier about when the wind current is out, you can dash or, do the mixture stuff. So a lot of times people see the mixture, the tornado, and then they just hold and parry, because basically you gonna do, they automatically assume you about to do the mixture afterwards. So it's two ways you can stop them from. You can basically expose them and go ahead and, well, I can't say expose, but bait them to parry. So you can do that, do the up version that's not far away from them, because you can't tell which version I'm doing until it's actually out. So like if we right here, obviously this version I hit, but if we right here and then I just do, but you can do that, or if you did this already, you can just dash up, and you see how quick that is. They'll be holding it thinking I'm doing mixture, but then they just got grabbed. So hopefully this wasn't all over the place. I tried my best to kind of get y'all through this neutral guide. Just for quick thoughts before I finish up the video, Rashid's neutral, he feels very overwhelming, but in a good way. He got so many tools, you don't know where to put certain things, but hopefully I helped y'all, kind of piece it together where you can use stuff and how to use it. But I feel like once all the pieces come together for him, he gonna be ridiculous. And I want y'all to stay tuned, because I'm gonna show the clip at the end of this video about the tornado space and stuff that I was mentioning earlier. And leave a like, subscribe, donate, whatever y'all want to do to support. I thank y'all for watching the whole thing, because I know this is gonna be a long video. So y'all have a blessed day, y'all take care, and look out for my other guys for Rashid coming out soon.